As a one-time boxing official said, let's get it on. It's Boy Green versus the Manchild in fantasy. Joe Bartel breaks it down next. The Manchild Show with Boy Green Digital Live starts right now.
Let's go! It's time for the talk to you. Cause when it goes to sport, it's always coming to. If Boy Green is always on the scene, it was gonna always bring to life singing. So get ready, get ready, cause here they come.
Oh, man. Can't believe it's coming to an end. Fantasy football season winding down. Championship games on the slate for most leagues out there. I know some leagues do extend into next week, but we do not, and so many don't. It is the Manchild against Boy Green, as you heard me tease in our Champs League finale. We'll also give a quick look at our other leagues, but without further ado, let's bring in our fantasy football insider from RotoWire.com. He joins us every week to break it all down. We got him one last time here early in the week with the holiday coming up later this week. It's the one, the only Joseph Bartel. What's up, Joe? How are you?
Man, it's good to see you guys. I'm going to keep saying it. That intro is awesome. It legitimately gets me pumped to do this show every time. I know your friend did a fantastic job with it. We're in a very giving mood. We're very happy with the holidays coming up. I've been a part of the show, for 8 years, with the radio and now here on MCS Digital. It has always been an honor to be a part of the group of talented people that you guys really have in this infrastructure. And it goes back to Survivor people and other fantasy experts out there and getting to do these live drafts. And I think we need to add your friend into the mix because, man, that intro always gets me pumped every time.
Yeah, I'm actually hoping to see Nicky Lamangino today because I'm down in New York City, Joe. You can see I'm not in my normal home studios. I'm down at my mom's and I'm makeshift studio. Brought a few items with me. Yeah, you can see kind of the pictures behind me in a bookshelf. So if anybody walks through there, well, they're just, celebrating Christmas, getting ready for the holidays, cooking and cleaning and doing everything you need to do. All right. Well, I can't believe it's come to this, Joe, to be honest with you. I really didn't want to meet him in the finals as much as deflating because I'm not feeling all that great about my team. Look, he created this graphic, Joe. Look at the graphic. The rematch fantasy football championship. I love the two pictures here that he was able to find of the two of us going nuts. Boy Green and I have faced one other time in the championship. It's the only time it ever happened. Was 2021, Boy Green. Last time I won the championship, and it was not close. It was an avalanche. I'm a little worried that I might be the one getting avalanched on this time based on how the rosters look and the lineups look going into this week with the unbelievable injuries and situations that I have going on with my team. But nonetheless, you show up and you put a team on the field and you hope for the best. And you never know, as you know, in fantasy, what the heck's going to happen. So, I would say he's slightly favored. We'll let you assess that if you want. But I still love the fact that you get here and you got a puncher's chance.
Correct.
Yep. Can happen, right?
Yep. Immortality on the line here for the championship between two co-hosts of this wonderful program here. I know that, I don't know, Boy Green, did you do a poll? Did you ask people, like, who are you rooting for with both you guys on the line? Is that what you're going to be talking about later?
Well, what we've done
is a lot of our guests. Yes.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, that's exactly it. I've been asking a lot of our guests about it.
I don't know if Boy Green has told you, Jim, what my answer was,
yes,
but
I predicted it.
I am rooting for the meteor.
He told me you sent it in. I said, before he sends it in, I'm going to tell you what I think he's going to say. I don't think he wants either of us to win this thing. So let's see. Am I right? Did he pick one of us? He goes, no. I go, see, I was right. I told you. Now, what?
Yeah, I'm rooting for the meteor to just explode this whole thing up. Neither of you guys get the glory of the championship. I don't want to hear you guys bragging for the next 8 months about how great your teams are in constructing. No. I am that kind of jaded competitor, and that's why you love me in the league, because it does not matter if it's a radio league or anything else like that. I don't want to see other people win. What are you talking about? The meteor needs to win. I don't want either of you guys to win.
I'll tell you what. I will say this about this year. It's funny how you find a rooting interest outside of yourself. And for whatever reason, I know it's not no particular thing. It's no slight to anybody else in the league. But as this thing wound down and we kind of got into the last few teams, looked like kind of we knew who the contenders were. I was actually rooting for Big Al. I would have loved to see him win the league. Now, Boy Green knocked him out last week. Maybe part of that was that he was facing Boy Green in that bracket. But I wouldn't have cried a river if Al had knocked me out. I would have still been rooting for him in the championship. But unfortunately, he's not there. And now I do have to face this monster in front of me. with all these waiver wire pickups and trades that suddenly seem to be paying off at the last minute. And oh, good grief. It's just not good for me, Joe.
Yeah. I mean, I know that we kind of did like the synopsis of the Boy Green trains in like whatever week 14 it was. I still think I'll make the cue cards next year. In order to not get run over by Boy Green in a trade, just contact me. It's free advice. Here's my phone number. Here's my email. You don't have to just say yes when he soothsays you in those texts. Like, I have been a part of times where Boy Green has wanted to get things from me, and I literally just said N and O, and it's okay to do that. You don't have to go ahead and give Boy Green his entire team. So I'm excited to see which next two people come up from the Chumps League and automatically trade you their teams, because it feels like you're always picking the vulnerable. It is not actually going after the sharp smarts at all in these trades. So I'm hoping that, whoever's seeing this right now, watching for the Chumps League, please understand that there are 8 other individuals that don't need you to go ahead and let you give trades to Boy Green. Let's see if we can not have him be in the finals again, please, next year.
Yeah, you ever see the Snake Charmer video? The thing?
Those terrify me.
Yeah, and that's Boy Green with all of the newbies. He just goes after them. It's like prey. Oh, boy.
People are sick.
All right, throw it up there, Boy Green. Let's get Joe's evaluation. We're going to go through the 4 leagues and get an evaluation on the 4 championship games. We have 4 of them. We'll start with the Champ League. It obviously is myself. Stairway to Evans, my name this year, against Dr. Fields Good for Boy Green. And you see the basic lineups here, Joe. I know there's some bench players that aren't mentioned. I mean, by some miracle, if Roma Dunze gets back in the lineup, perhaps I might stick him in. I don't know what his status is going to be. Luther Burden is also sitting on my bench. So if one of those 2 guys got back in, I might be tempted. But I've hocked together a lineup here to start the week off with, and we'll see what happens after that.
Yeah, and we'll see. What it's worth, look at the projections. I know we've all talked about
it looks dead even projection
very frequently about what projections mean and what they don't mean. But yeah, according to them, the overlords at Yahoo, it is a coin flip. It's 50-50. Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, I feel like that's pretty close. Now, I don't know if Josh Jacobs plays. That'll be obviously hard because we're talking about now 3 players on your roster, Jim. That would be replacement level in the case of Matt Collins and Trey Tucker. Definitely frustrating. I don't expect Tony Pollard to have as good of a game as he's had the past couple weeks, so maybe there's the downgrade there. It'll be, can the explosive players that have got you to this point and gotten a lot of people, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Bijan Robinson, can they give you a Puka Nacua level performance from last Thursday and give basically a baseline of, can I get to 130 in whatever plus I get from these guys too? I think Caleb Williams in a good spot against, I don't know if you guys watched much of that Monday night game. I had a lot on the line for that one. And I was shocked at how bad the Colts defense was, but also how bad the 49ers defense was. I think the Bears will have their way. I think Caleb Williams is certainly in a good spot. I think Trey Tucker against your Giants, which are one of the worst teams in the NFL, and I told you that for about now a month plus at this point. I think Trey Tucker will be just fine from a low floor PPR volume, but it will be dependent on Bijan and Jackson Smith and Jigba. And quietly, I do think you have Harold Fannin as well too that could maybe get a few more points too against the Steelers. But on the other side, unfortunately, I think Justin Jefferson's going to have a pretty good game if Max Brosmer's quarterback. I think George Pickens is going to look really good as well too. Ironically, Stairway to Evans could lose to Mike Evans because I think Mike Evans can have a good game as well. And I don't believe Kenneth Walker goes nuclear like he did last week, but that's still a very comfortable floor, especially if Jacobs is out. I think Walker exceeds that too. So I disagree with Yahoo. I think Boy Green's got the inside track, and it'll be one that I'm watching. I think it'll be close, but I think Boy Green probably has the upper hand right now if the Meteor does not win the ultimate battle.
And interestingly enough, we will see some results. So we have all these Thursday games. So we have 3 Thursday night games because of the
Christmas 2 Saturday.
And 2 Saturday games. So this is going to go a lot earlier
and Monday.
than normal. And we do each have a player playing on Monday night. So could it come down to that? Who knows if it were that crazy? It possibly could. I'll get my defense and my kicker out of the way. I don't mind that at all on Thursday. Boy Green going to throw some of his stars out there on Thursday. So we'll see what Thursday day/night football looks like, because that always can be a sloppy mess and frankly can affect the scores of players a lot of times.
Yep. Yeah, no, I mean, can Aubrey do what you would like him to do? Can the Broncos defense? I mean, that's where the advantage is. We've talked about that in various points this past year, just overall debating the merits of top kicker and defense. And I think that actually will be kind of the one advantage that we could say, how big of a deal will it make come Sunday, again, when 5 of the 16 games have already been played. Can that offset some of, I imagine, the damage that happens otherwise? But it'll be interesting. I think it's close. I don't think it's as close as Yahoo's indicated, but yeah, I would lean towards Boy Green right now.
And Joe, come on. Let's be honest here, right? you chastised Manchild for that defense trade with Denver and the selection of Aubrey with basically the first overall pick in our fantasy league. It might as well have been. Come on. Like you, for those two reasons, you want Aubrey to implode so you could give him that slow head nod at the next year's fantasy
Well,
draft.
the Broncos defense was so good against Trevor Lawrence last week. I mean, that was a super big lock. No, I mean, I have felt very vindicated, especially watching Jason Myers win people fantasy weeks where Brandon Aubrey has been basically kind of a lower end steady Eddie at kicker. I think I've been very vindicated throughout this whole process the past month now on both the kicker and defense.
All right, there you go. Also, I want to remind people that while, yes, me and Manchild and Joe being this weird referee in the middle between us is a lot of the hoopla going on today, it's not the only thing. Submit your fantasy questions in. It's your final chance on our show anyway. Just submit your questions in for Joe. We also have a Joe update we'll give later with Joe making some Buco Bucks, baby. He probably doesn't care anymore about anything in fantasy football, baby. With anything we've got going on here, he's got his own first world problems. But we do want to go to each of our championship games, as Lurch has mentioned throughout the season. We have 4 radio show leagues. A lot of you are in the comment section, but you guys can check those out and we'll answer all your questions. So keep submitting those questions in and we'll get to those before the end. Let's go down to the Chumps League here. First off, congratulations to Savage Joe's and Titletown Cheeseheads. By even being in the championship game, they have both punched their tickets to our live fantasy draft. So Joe loves getting Packers fans back in there. So Mike Nikoski, welcome back, brother.
And we lost Savage, one Austin and acquired another. So Austin
we did
for Austin.
Yeah, there we go. Did we even really trade, Lurch? Just keep the name tag. We saved a little money, quite frankly, on the materials.
Perhaps.
So that's great. And a big salute to Savage Joe's here. This is a guy who lives in Maryland, in the Maryland area. He's been talking trash. I'm pretty sure he entered in the Quad Cities League and earned his way up. But he talked trash from the Quad Cities days, saying, I'm coming to that league, and I'm going to kick your guys' butt. And me and Luke on the radio remember going, yeah, okay, little guy. And then he's just kept winning. And now he's already punched his ticket in. So I can't wait to meet Austin in person for the first time in my life. He's just a fan of the show. So, and he's ready for it. So this is great. So, Joe, we're going to keep doing this. And for everyone that's watching, we're going to flash, and I know, again, as Lurch said, we can still switch some people out, but this is the starting lineups right now. So Joe will sort of read what's here and sort of assess and give some analysis on who he's leaning towards. Obviously, these lineups may change before the games get kicked off in a couple of days here. But, Joe, what do you think of the Chumps League championship game?
Yeah, I think actually this is probably a stronger set of 2 teams than the finals between you two. I'm not saying your teams are not very good at all, but there's obviously weak spots in it. I look at the quarterbacks, and you wouldn't have expected Trevor Lawrence or Drake May when you drafted him or you picked him up in waivers to be championship levels. Lawrence has obviously been insane the past couple of weeks. Drake May has been an MVP favorite for a reason. I think they're more or less equal. And against your Jets, Boy Green, I think Drake May is going to probably go nuclear. Lots on the line for the Patriots. And Trevor Lawrence against that Colts defense we just mentioned earlier, just being as horrible as they were last Monday. There will be more stakes on the line. A divisional opponent, one that embarrassed them a little bit before when Daniel Jones got injured. But I think Lawrence is going to be just fine too. So I think we're looking at both 2 top 5 quarterback plays this week, which is really funny because I think there's an advantage with Puka Nacua over the receivers of Savage Joe's. And I also think James Cook and Derrick Henry is a combination over Jahmyr Gibbs, for example. But much in the same way we talked about in the Champs League, where it's a Jackson Smith and Jigba or Bijan Robinson, if they end up getting 35, 40 points, that easily is on the table in the case of, I think, even like a Cortland Sutton, for example, but certainly Jahmyr Gibbs. And Brock Bowers can sneakily do that as well, too, if and when. So I think this is another, I think Titletown Cheeseheads is probably not just trying to be a Packer fan homer, but I think they are probably the favorite as opposed to what Yahoo is suggesting to me. But I do believe Jahmyr Gibbs and Tet McMillan and I think Brock Bowers all have 30-point play upside. And if that happens, we're talking about another very close final and one that I think will go down to the wire between both these 2 teams.
Yeah, better floor versus a higher ceiling. I think you're right in assessing that kind of some similarities in the Champs League. All right, Boy Green, go to you got the Triple C. Can you jump over there?
We do. Let's jump over to the
I was hoping
C.
I was going to be in this one. I was the number 1 team in the Triple C, and I got bounced in a singular effort here. So I am nowhere. I'm out, one and done, as they say. Got the bye and didn't take advantage of it. And these are the 2 teams. But there were 4 or 5 very good teams in this league, all hovering at around 8-9 wins. And we see 2 of them here, a 7-7 and a 9-5 team.
I would likely lean towards the 9-5 team, not just because I don't know what the status of Lamar Jackson against my Packers, but you look at some of the like the Joe Burrow being one of the hottest quarterbacks right now. More importantly, I think Jacoby Myers, talking about that Jags game against the Colts, I think he'll go back to maybe his 15 points that he was getting before. And then you have that combo of Bijan, Achane, Brock Bowers, which is a very steady, I think, 20-plus points. Whereas you converse that to Chris Olave, who you guys know, that was probably one of my highest drafted guys, but most touted players. I feel very vindicated with how well he did, but it took a junk time touchdown with the Saints that they were really trying to make Taysom Hill be that crazy 1,000-yard runner, passer, and receiver for the first time since the Super Bowl era in the last game for the Saints. I don't know if Chris Olave gets quite to that level here. Although the Titans' run defense very good, their pass defense so bad, Olave might be that singular force. You just might not recognize him as such. And then James Cook, I think it's very interesting that he's been on 2 of the 3 teams now at this point. Cook has been awesome. I don't know if it's going to be a 2-touchdown game, which has really kind of propelled people the past couple weeks against this Eagles defense. The Bills have lots to play for. It's a very important game. I think the Bills win this one, but I don't think it's because James Cook goes nuclear like he has the past couple weeks. So I'm leaning towards Vrabel's rage. I think they will have a bit of a safer, higher floor than what I expect from moving on up to go ahead and look like.
All right,
and
we'll
a big
both
shout
of
out
those
here
teams again into the Chumps League next year.
Correct.
So we'll see them there at the next level. Go ahead, BJ. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I was just going to give a shout out to Vrabel's Rage again. This is another local guy here in New York who's been a big fan of the show for a long time. His name's Jeff Abramo, and he's just been titillated by seeing the pictures of the live fantasy draft. He's like, damn it, I want to be in there, man. And he's just been sort of floating
now, baby.
So
one
yeah,
more
so
top
good
3,
luck to Jeff and John for that matter. So that's terrific. So okay, the Triple C League there involved. All right, we have one more to get to. That is the Quad Cities, and unfortunately, please guys, pull out your violins. I won this league last year, and unfortunately, I was eliminated just before this Final Four. I could have gone back to back, belly to belly. That would have been a lot of fun. And here's a cool thing here, Joe. For both of our things, we have Ali on one side. He's 10-4, 13-1. Thomas. This is the best record in any of our leagues, and he has massive points. And you can clearly see it here with the projections, with 150 freaking point projection. Good Lord! I mean, this is spectacular, Joe.
Yeah, going to lose 26 points as well. I do not believe Rashee Rice will play. I don't think Travion Henderson plays as well, too, although Henderson maybe has a better chance to return from concussion protocol than I think Rashee Rice will. So demonstratively, I think Big T is probably in a good spot, probably is one of the best rosters I've seen with Puka Nacua, Jackson Smith-Njigba. You have the Drake London return. The running backs are a little bit tough. You wouldn't have guessed that Blake Corum has actually been, I think it's like running back 17 over the past month and a half or 2 months now. Better. And he's been sharing time with Kyron Williams, but it doesn't matter because the Rams are just curb stomping everybody. So even if Blake Corum is the backup per se, he's still been great for fantasy. I think Big T is the easiest runaway winner of any of these guys we've talked about, and I think will very clearly be a concerning team next year given the roster they put together for this roster.
Yeah, this is one of the greatest. If this comes through, Big T, of course, you win the championship. Or you're the 1998 Minnesota Vikings. You're the 2007 Patriots. You're all these teams that were awesome but didn't win the whole thing. Joining that infamous list. But Big T has the potential of one of the greatest fantasy teams we've ever seen in any of our leagues. When you go pillar to post, the whole record and everything, that's pretty incredible there for the Quad City. So that is our 4 radio digital championship leagues. Good luck to everyone. Again, the good news outside of me and Lurch, because that's the highest league that exists. Everyone else that's involved in their championship games have already punched their ticket to the next round. The games we did not show, of course. There's the ever important consolation 3rd place prize. Whoever wins that 3rd place game punches their final ticket, because we rise and 3 people rise, 3 people fall in all of our leagues there. Joe, before we get to all the fans and we finish off here with our final conversation with you this year before we flip the page to next year, Joe, let's get into you. Who cares about these bragging rights? That's for losers, baby. What about cash? Big money prize.
Yeah, so we had talked about last week. I think I had signed off just saying I need a little bit of good vibes. For those of you not familiar, we typically talk about redraft fantasy, where in August or July, if you're crazy like me, or maybe in early September, you're drafting a lineup that you're going to be setting different weekly moves every single week. You're picking up Trevor Lawrence, you're bringing on Blake Corum. If you're Jim, you're signing wide receiver 5, 6, and 7s because you need them to start for the championship finals. In a best ball format, you're drafting your roster, and then it just sets your highest score every single week. So the idea is really for us in the fantasy industry, I want to lay of the land. How are people being valued? What are the guys like Chris Olave, for example, which was kind of the onus for me taking him as much redraft as I did. Are people understanding what Chris Olave could do if the Saints offense is working effectively? And it really truthfully allows for us to have better conversation just overall to help you guys win your leagues. Like when I'm doing these best ball drafts, it's really with the idea that we can have this expand to further conversation on SiriusXM, on our podcast, on these shows here. There are people, we'll call them best ball bros, because that's what happens to the fantasy industry, where you can max out some of these massive competitions. There's tons of money on the line. And typically, you're allowed to have, let's just say, 100 entries to the big massive tournaments. I did one draft, and then another one that was a free roll as part of doing some coverage for it. And what will end up happening, as long as I have the tech do this correctly, I'm going to hit the share screen button to make sure that we have this. Maybe I won't even be able to do it here with the Slack part of things, but I think let's go ahead and share this right here. Your guy, I think if we could see this correctly, Alpha Cool at the top, that is my best ball team that we talked about last week. I have advanced to the final round of the, as you can see at the top here, $15 million best ball competition. Next week, it'll be me and 1,000 other people. The first place prize is $2 million. Wow. I have a 1 in 1,000 shot at winning $2 million as I have advanced now to this past round. It goes down in consequential order. I think second place gets $1 million. Oh, darn. Even top 100 gets close to like $100,000 to $50,000. We are talking about probably some of the biggest money that I will ever see in my entire career. And it all came because I was just trying to find different ways to give you guys advice and talk about fantasy football in a different way too. So I'll show you the roster that I'm looking at.
Yes, please.
So I strongly believe that we got here because of the good vibes and everything else like that. So if there is anything that you guys, if you're out of the fantasy playoffs, if you want something else to root for, I mean, I'll have screenshots posted to my Twitter, JB Fantasy Sports. I'm going to be talking about this on SiriusXM. Here's the team that I have, and really it matters how many points can these guys make up. So Trevor Lawrence, we talked about it earlier, one of the championship teams. I have Bijan Robinson. I have ETN. I got Chris Olave and Jackson Smith-Njigba, Devonta Smith, Hunter Henry. Those guys made my starting lineup. The part that's really hard is what you'll see here in the second page. You really need the different pieces that others didn't have that advance. So in case Josh Jacobs, so Jim, you and I are going to be in the same boat. We need Jacobs to play. If Jacobs gets a massive game, that would be huge because a lot of people probably didn't advance using Jacobs. Javonte Williams, the same thing, Chris Godwin. And we call them in best ball dead spots, and we'll show this here at the very end. Guys that won't give any fantasy production, Jerome Ford, Diami Brown, Elijah Mitchell, of course, Daniel Jones being done for the season. He was a catalyst for making it to that point. So it really is to, I guess I canceled the picture, which is fine, but
okay.
That's the roster. That's what we're looking at. If you are watching your lineups and rooting for Bijan Robinson and you have Jackson Smith-Njigba on your team and maybe Chris Olave has gotten you far, just think of me. You could shoot out a tweet at JB Fantasy Sports because I may or may not be like curled up in the corner somewhere crying out of sheer happiness because we're talking about pretty insane stuff to have 2 entries in a competition that people draft hundreds of to get to this final spot is pretty miraculous. And I really think it's a lot of the good vibes I've gotten from you guys and everything else like that. And I want more of them to continue here as we have a lot on the line here for week 17.
That is true, Joe. I need to ask a very pressing question here, and I know, and maybe you don't want to start, Deion Primetime Sanders this thing before you reach the end zone. But if you win this thing, are you and the family? You're grabbing the kid, the wife. Are you going to Cancun?
European vacation?
Not just
you guys.
Vacation. JB Fantasy Sports. Is that Twitter account going to be deactivated the next day? And you've moved. You've retired. You're done with the fantasy football.
You guys don't know this, but I think it's kind of a fun part of this as well. Kayla and I are expecting kid number 2 come July. So
congratulations.
I don't know how much I could tell you what that mean for my family. I love our duplex that we're in right now. I think it'd be a little bit different if I'm in a different spot like that, but just what it would mean for our family. And I think in a context to the greater fantasy community too, what RotoWire has been for a lot of people, it gives a lot more clout a little bit to the company that I adore. And I think really provides a lot of fantasy value to the rest of the industry that maybe they wouldn't be aware of. But if the winner comes from this kind of program, it does a whole lot. So for my family, and I think for the extended RotoWire family as well too, I am nervous, but really, really excited to be in this spot with a lot on the line for week 17.
Well, congratulations,
Sounds
buddy,
like we're rooting for
on-
some of the same guys, Joe. It sounds like
I think so.
you actually will be rooting for the man-child because all the players that I need to pop, you need to pop. That sounds really good. We're in the
Yeah,
same.
I will be. Yes.
That is
And if you could give a little love to a Trey Tucker or some other
yeah.
scoundrel that I found on the waiver wire, fantastic. That'll work as well.
Which so that's terrific. In all seriousness, Joe, congratulations on the success so far in the tournament with the money piled up there. That's great, but more on the horizon. You can't get complacent, can't settle for all the good that's already happened. So throughout the rest of our conversation here, we're running out of time, but we'll go through all of the fan questions that came through here. First off, this is a good plug opportunity too.
Yeah.
Matt from Auburn on YouTube asking, Joe, what is the Sirius XM channel you're on?
So I have two different shows. I do one on Friday, 12 to 2 p.m. Eastern, channel 87. It's the RotoWire Fantasy Football show. I've been doing it now for 6 years with my co-host, Mario Puig. Mario also has been doing really well with this NFFC team, which has a very outside chance, but $250,000 also on the line. He has had a very, very good year. So we will both be, I mean, he's less giddy than I am. I have to kind of get him emotionally in stakes for this stuff, but he and I'll have a lot of fun to talk about come Friday here. We do that every Friday, and we'll be doing it really probably to the Super Bowl as well too. And then my solo show, 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on Saturday, Angel Fire Radio. I know Matt's asking about that, but again, channel 87. I take about an hour of calls, and it's just all starts this off. We talk about dynasty trades, whatever else. I want the audience to be engaged in that. So channel 87, 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern. I'm always having guests on different calls at the time too. So Angel Fire Radio will be on Saturday for this week. There'll be games going on live, so I might be a little distracted during the show. And I don't think it's unfair for me to be, but we'll have that one really throughout most of February or leading up to February as well too.
All right, let's get some questions in here. Bubba Badshaw, not quite $2 million.
No, this is great.
Hey.
This is perfect. Yes.
But Badshaw here on YouTube saying, I'm in the finals of my ESPN League, $750 on the line, baby. So he has some important questions. Let's get right to him for you, Badshaw here. Breece Hall or Rashee Rice at the flex? Steelers defense good to pick up this week?
Yeah, again, I don't know if Rashee Rice plays. He didn't
play.
get any practice stats last week, and if he doesn't practice today, he literally is unable to be cleared. So you will know because the Chiefs play on Thursday if Rashee Rice is available. I'm expecting on a short week he will not be third string quarterback for the Chiefs. I think Rashee Rice is out. So Breece Hall by default is the answer at flex, and unfortunately, from a waiver wire perspective, I do the article every week on RotoWire. There's no paywall. You can go and read. There's not a whole lot of waiver wire options. Like I was talking about Dylan Sampson or Travion Williams for the Browns with Quinshon Judkins out. I think there's some motivation that Taysom Hill could be involved, but I'm not saying play Taysom Hill over Breece Hall. So I think it's probably Breece Hall over Rashee Rice. And I think Steelers defense is fine. The Patriots was the top one, but there wasn't really any other defense that I thought were widely available that I would recommend.
All right, and then this is just sort of a
quickie. Hold on a second. Just to jump on that Kansas City thing for a second, Joe.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't see a world where I can start Xavier Worthy this week as he's played. I mean, I would rather throw a Trey Tucker or a DK or somebody out there. Do you see a world where you would start Worthy? I don't.
No. I wholeheartedly agree with you. Chris Ludicon, the third quarterback, is much more of an athlete, a scrambler. You could scheme things a little bit, but we're talking about like a 2-day practice window where you could maybe get him involved in running against this Broncos defense. I think you could scheme short throws for Travis Kelce and Hollywood Brown, but even then, I just don't. I think the Chiefs, not they're going to mail it in, but I think they just might play it safe. There's zero reason to go ahead and risk these guys getting hurt. They're down to third string offensive tackles on both sides. No, I can't play Xavier Worthy. He is out of my lineup this week.
All right.
And Lurch, quick thing here. I think you have your leagues confused. DK Metcalf is not a choice for you. I'm pretty sure.
Shamir DK, Boy Green. Shamir DK.
Shamir DK, not DK.
Oh, well. I don't even. We got one DK suspended. All of a sudden, another DK is leapfrogged.
Yeah, what about that as a factor for people, Joe? I mean, that's an unsuspected thing here that lands on people, perhaps in championship week here.
I one of my leagues advanced with Quinshon Judkins and DK Metcalf. I cut both. I have 2 starting roster spots for the fantasy championship. Frustrating. I think Kenny Gainwell actually becomes probably the Steelers' top receiver. I don't think there is a Calvin Austin that I'd pick up or a Darnell Washington. I just think it becomes the Steelers' offense has 2 assets: Jalen Warren, Kenny Gainwell, and that's it with that DK Metcalf suspension. Super frustrating if you're relying him like I was in one championship league.
Oof.
Yeah, because the thing I think that sucks is, NFL came hard with the 2-game suspension. Maybe you could appeal it to 1, but it's still going to be 1, I believe, ultimately on the appeal. And that screws you because most championship games are coming up this weekend. Just to follow up on Batshaw's thing, he explained that he was playing Jalen Warren in his running back slot over Breece. Assume that's the right decision?
Correct.
Joe?
Yep. Breece would still be the flex. You'd have Jalen Warren over Breece Hall. I think that's correct.
Okay, there you go. All right, let's keep this train rolling here. We got Matt from Auburn coming back here. Appreciate you, Matt, on YouTube. Happy holidays, gents. For a championship, RB, pick 2, Derrick Henry, Bucky Irving, David Montgomery, Zach Charbonnet, Amari DeMarcado, and any insight on Christian Watson or Rome Odunze?
Yeah, I think to expand on the bottom part of this question, which is probably more interesting to me, I think it's Derrick Henry and Bucky Irving very easily is the two plays that I'd have. I'd have Derrick Henry even if Lamar Jackson is out. I think the Ravens will have to rely on him. I know the Packers defense is good. They haven't faced a runner like Derrick Henry. So like I'm playing Derrick Henry, I'm playing Bucky Irving. It's frustrating, but that's the way you have to go. I think so. For those of you who weren't watching the my Packers have the debacle Saturday night against the Bears, Jordan Love gets injured relatively early in that game with a concussion, dirty hit by Austin Booker, whatever it is. Malik Willis, the backup quarterback, injured his shoulder on the very last play of regulation. From what I have seen from Packers beat reporters, it sounds like Malik Willis is less likely to play than Jordan Love, and Jordan Love also has to also play through concussion protocol and get through there. It's not a short week because they played Saturday. They will play again this Saturday. I think Love has a chance to play. If Love is available, I am playing Christian Watson. But if Love and Malik Willis are out, we're talking about Clayton Tune. He's a former Cardinals quarterback. He's the third string guy that the Packers have to go to. Do not play Christian Watson in that instance. I would pick up anybody else. And I don't know if Odunze will play, but certainly I'd rather have Odunze over Christian Watson if it's down to Clayton Tune for the Packers.
Okay, let's wrap up here with a couple of fun ones. We've got Jamie the FedEx guy saying, Joe, are you going to give me a loan?
Jamie, if I win first place,
30% interest.
We could talk a little bit. I might be able to at least get you a beer or two when I come to see you guys and say, like, we could talk a little bit, Jamie. But I need all of your good vibes and good luck going my way if that were to happen. Okay, man?
Okay, so more from Jamie. Now, it's just curious here because, like, Jamie is a guy that always goes back and, this decision, this
He's
decision.
the great historian, as I call him.
He is. For me, I sort of set, and I'm not perfect, I set my lineup, and some decisions are difficult, but I just sort of ride or die with whatever I pick. And if it worked out, oh, thank God. If it didn't, that sucks. But Jamie really roasts over these decisions. What's your advice to someone that roasts over these decisions? Because Jamie is saying, oh, boy, if I just would have did a straddle.
If I could have, would have 3 years ago, I would have changed that.
What's your advice to people? Jamie's not the only person that probably roasts over these decisions, but it's spilled milk already.
So I play in 17 leagues. I think let's be honest, acknowledge it's not fair for me to really answer it this way when I have other things always going on at every point in my life with fantasy football. There are leagues where this is the only one that matters. And I love that I'm part of this one because people do think that way. What I would say is, you could been like, oh, if I would have changed this one thing, how do you know? And this is the Butterfly Effect movie, like back in the early 2000s with Ashton Kutcher, I think, right? Like, how do you know that if you played Dalton Schultz, if he ends up catching a touchdown or does he trip at the 5-yard line, like just because of what you did or did not do does not mean that the rest of the NFL season works out that same way. So I have to, as a person, I get too stressed otherwise where like I can't ruminate on that type of thing. I don't mind if other people do because I get it, but I will never be one that's like, all right, I have to go ahead and wait for this outcome to happen because realistically, I don't control that. And we don't know. We're not in the locker room planning that stuff.
Fair enough. And like I said, just a couple of final comments here. Jamie says, thank Austin and Brandon for gift wrapping me Dak Prescott and Kenneth Walker. You could do that. That's certainly possible. Jamie giving some love for once, saying the best to ever do it are facing off for each other. One of them will walk away with title 3. Thanks for the love. Appreciate that. That's very nice. And Jamie says, oh yeah, last thing. We can't help that Boy Green worked voodoo magic when he faced Josh Allen last week against the Browns. I'll be honest, when I saw the matchup on paper against Al, I saw Josh Allen to the Browns defense. I'm like, Josh Allen's really good. I like my chances. The Browns defense is tough. Now, some teams have blown out the Browns this year, so it doesn't always work, but I felt weirdly confident going into that matchup last week.
Oh, boy. If Allen just gave him a normal performance, he wins, Joe.
Right.
He wins. He knocks Boy Green out.
Well, butterfly effect. Maybe he doesn't if it's a normal week, and who knows what else could have happened.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a pleasure, guys, to be with you here for this holiday season. I'll keep you updated. Again, my Twitter, JB Fantasy Sports. I will probably be talking about it on Sunday, Monday. You'll know if it's good stuff. How about I put it that way? You'll know if it's good stuff. I'll have it out there on my social media account throughout because we'll have 5 games on Thursday and Saturday. We'll know kind of Sunday what that looks like and what we need. So you guys will be aware if you're following along JB Fantasy Sports on Twitter. That's probably the best place you'll be able to find me. But otherwise, it was awesome to be with you guys again. Looking forward. Hopefully we'll have to see with the new kid coming and what that looks like in July, if I'll be at the live draft. I understand if that means I go back down. There's a lot of really willing people in the Chumps League that'll be happy to pop up. And I'll be fighting back to the Champs League if that happens too. So I'll keep you guys updated if that happens. But it's been awesome to be with you guys. And thank you for letting me be part of this awesome community and great show that we've had throughout the year.
Thank you, Joe. Happy holidays. All right. We'll let Joe go. As Joe's going out the door here, we'll just take 30 seconds, learn a little bit more about our friends from Box Drop Syracuse, today's sponsor. Be right back. Considering that we sleep nearly 1/3 of our lives, buying the right mattress is essential. At Box Drop Syracuse Mattress and Sofa Outlet, you'll get a unique experience, one that saves you 30 to 70% off retail prices on top-of-the-line mattresses like Sapphire Sleep. At Box Drop, you'll schedule a mattress fitting appointment and get one-on-one service directly with Paul, the owner. No middleman. Family-owned, huge savings, no-pressure sales designed to save you time and money. And now Box Drop Syracuse has sectional sofas and love seats as well, with prices designed to fit your budget. Box Drop Syracuse Mattress and Sofas. Set up your appointment today at boxdropsyracuse.com. All right, we are back. Manchild Show with Boy Green Digital, our usual live Friday show going off here on a Tuesday as we get ready. So Tuesday's like a Friday this week with Christmas Eve tomorrow for a lot of people celebrating Christmas that do it on Christmas Eve and, of course, Christmas Day. So we'll have a couple of days off from the podcast. We will be back on Friday with our usual NFL picks. Matt Lombardo is slated to join us as well. So you can expect that very, very early, probably around noontime on Friday. We'll have that out to you so you can check out our NFL picks. It was a very good pick week for many of the pickies. And we with that Monday night game, right? Did I get the Monday night game last night? I think I did last night.
You did not. You picked Indianapolis.
Oh, so they didn't cover. Huh? I didn't get to the end.
They lost by like 3 touchdowns. Or something.
Yeah, that's right. It ended up a blowout at the end. Too bad. Good old man Rivers was doing me well. I still love the way he's playing. What a great story that is.
It's fun game.
I know they're just about knocked out. I guess it's not mathematically, but
yes, right.
They're
still
Colts are in deep trouble now, so they're not going to make the playoffs. But boy, what Phillip Rivers has been able to do to come off the couch at 44 years old and to play the kind of football that he's played the last 2 weeks against really good teams. And perform, to me, has been incredibly impressive. I'm really amazed. I don't know if is he gonna take this out to the end, or what are they doing?
Yeah, right. I don't know.
I don't even know what the future of this Rivers thing is, but man, what a wonderful little look it was, and to see his huge family up in the luxury box every time he throws a touchdown pass or does something good, jumping up and down and going crazy. We know we've seen shots of his high school football team, which is what he was doing before he arrived, coaching a high school football team, also jumping up and down on the Zoom shots that they showed us as well. So just a great feel good kind of cool Christmas story, dare I say, for the NFL, despite the fact that unfortunately for Indianapolis, it's not going to result in a playoff berth after that phenomenal start and after a completely resurgent Daniel Jones looking like, he was an MVP candidate. He starts souring, then he gets injured, and now they're down to, a 44-year-old guy trying to save them. And it just was a little too late. It's too bad. I wonder if they had figured this Rivers thing out a few weeks before, would they still be in the mix? It's quite possible, based on how he's looked, that it could be. But it's remarkable regardless of what he's doing at 44 years old. We see this time and time again in the world of sports. People doing amazing things at advanced ages. What LeBron James is doing in the NFL, obviously what Tom Brady recently did in the NFL. It goes on and on. Mike Tyson even getting into a ring with anybody and throwing blows is mind-boggling to me. So it's really, really incredible what some, dare I say, old people are doing in the world of sports these days that are making things work.
The final score ended up being 49ers won 48-27, so they ended up winning by 3 touchdowns. But on the Phillip Rivers angle, right? So he's 44 years of age. Daniel Jones blew out his Achilles. It happened late in the season, so there may be a beginning season thing here where Phillip Rivers, right? He learned of this on days' notice. It gets shoved out there. You would think with the full offseason, if they say, hey, actually, Phillip, do you just want to carry this thing through next year? We don't know what's going to happen with Daniel. Maybe Daniel will be ready at some point next year and you can hand the keys to him, or you're just the guy for next year. I mean, that would be a wild plot twist if that happens with the story, but that's something obviously we'll have to keep an eye out for.
I mean, you just wonder, like, when Rivers said he was going to do this, when it crossed his mind and then he was asked about it and then he said yes, like, what was he thinking? Was he thinking, okay, I'm just going to try to
Right.
get this team into the playoffs and then play some playoff football and then hang them back up? Or was he thinking like, I can still do this, and have these 2 games and whatever else he plays this last 2 weeks of the season, is that going to re-inspire him to say, I can play and I can still play at a high level? Heck, I'm coming back. So who knows? Is it a full-fledged comeback, or was it just a one-off of him trying to come in and save a franchise where he knew the coach and knew the system, and it just was like, okay, I can do this. Let me push that sun back up into the sky one more time. Sure. I don't know, but it's been a fascinating ride nonetheless. Fascinating.
Hey, and I want to circle back to give a big shout out and a lot of great comments for Joe Bartel. Let's go, Joe. Thanks, Joe. I see Badshot saying, thanks, Joe. I've enjoyed listening to your takes this season. Good vibes to you and your family, and I hope you get that money. If you win, don't forget us little people. By the way, I don't know if we mentioned this live on air, but he won $10,000 yesterday just getting to this level, and he'll win a minimum of 1,000 more. So that is not – I want to say life-changing money because, I could really change my life right now. Right. But there's even more life-changing money with a potential of $2 million on the line. But so congrats to Joe.
I think Joe said to us off air, I think it was a $20 investment. So,
It was, right. And I thought he even made a $40 investment, but he told us one of the entries was free for promotion. So it's $20 for, at a minimum, $11,000 because he gets a minimum bid for this week, whatever's going to happen, which is another $1,000. So good for Joe. Congratulations. And I think that makes us all feel like, man, I'm sure that's validation for Joe. It's for his company too. If Joe represents RotoWire, wins this thing,
of course,
he invests a lot of time, effort, and energy into this, and this is difficult. So to get that kind of cash prize pool goes to show you guys out in the audience that have had a chance to ask questions to him all season long. We have one of the great fantasy experts on planet Earth here that for fantasy football that we get to have and are lucky enough to have in our league. So I hope you guys take advantage of this. Again, this was the last visit for this year. We'll check back in with him during the summer. Or beforehand to give him props for winning more money, but submitting your questions. And so make sure you guys take advantage of that. This is our service from us to you. Free fantasy expert advice for whatever league you're in. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, very, very cool. All right. So look, no more live shows before Christmas. Boy Green, to you and your family and your kids and the in-laws and everybody that's coming in. Happy holidays, I guess. Don't worry, just stories. Think about stories. Think about the stories. And for all of you who are tuning in now or watch this video later on, we do appreciate it. It's been a great, great year turning this 25-year radio franchise into a digital channel and loving the growth. I'm loving all the people who have been joining us. We're up over 425 subscribers. We're heading towards 450, and
we're at 431 now, Lurch. It's a live number.
Okay, so we're over 430 now. So fantastic. If you're watching now and you aren't a subscriber, we'd love to have your support. And with that support, number one, you're not paying anything. You're just agreeing to kind of check in with us now and then, and check in on the things that you like. You don't have to love every single thing that we do. We are pretty diverse. We do Giants, we do Jets, we do Bills. We're on the Survivor train. If you like reality TV, we're going to be doing some interviews during this offseason between the Survivor 49 and 50 seasons. We're going to get some insiders talking about season 50, which is a big, big season for Survivor. And we'll be back on the beam for the Survivor recap show after every episode of season 50. That ought to be a blast. What Jeff Probst, the producer and host of Survivor, is saying will be the greatest season in the history of Survivor. Will it be? Well, we'll be there to judge it and to critique it, and Brett LaBelle will be there to judge it and critique it, and several other experts as well. So we're really, really looking forward to that in the new year. So everybody have a blessed Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever it is that you celebrate. We will be back in between Christmas and New Year's again with some of our normal stuff. We'll be there Monday with our regular Monday live show. And like I said, we will be dropping our NFL picks on Friday with Matt Lombardo. So that's what our future kind of says. Boy Green, final thoughts if you have any. Merry Christmas to you and your family, sir.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Two things here. First off, for that Survivor 50, I can't wait for the fantasy draft. I'm going to get a chance. We have not, because of when we started doing Survivor recap shows, that I could draft a Dragon Slayer, that I could draft a nostalgic guy. Like in our fantasy drafts, they're going to have names that people recognize. Like that's going to be super cool. So I'll nerd out over that possibility. That'll be cool. But as I just mentioned, I checked it live. We're at 431 subscribers to our YouTube channel, and we can't thank you guys enough. We started this YouTube channel over the summer, and to already be at 431, to already be 69 subscribers away from monetization is a blessing. And thank you to everyone that's chosen to subscribe so far. I'll plug our last, or not last, but our next free giveaway here, because there are 19 spots left, folks. So get it while the getting's good. The 1972 official New York Jets yearbook cover that has Joe Namath, Pro Football Hall of Famer, John Riggins, Pro Football Hall of Famer. It's in this case, which has kept it pristine, and I will ship this off to you if you are one of our next 19 subscribers. There's only 19 spots left, folks. It's on that YouTube channel on your screen. That's youtube.com/@MC Show Digital. Free to subscribe. You don't even have to pay for shipping. I'll figure that out, and we'll pick someone at random. So again, we have 431 subscribers right now. The next 19, if you're one of our first 450 subscribers, you'll be eligible for that giveaway. If you don't win it, because only one person will win it, of course, don't worry. Stay subscribed, because you'll be eligible for all our other free giveaways coming up on the channel, which is pretty cool. So again, you're around the Christmas time, Lurch, around New Year's. You just remember what you're thankful for, and it's pretty cool. 431 subscribers. That's a lot of people that decide to be a part of this journey with us and to be part of our family.
Okay, fantastic. Well, all right, man. So everybody get on board. Again, Merry Christmas to everybody, and we'll see you before New Year's. So one more time, all right? Everybody enjoy. Happy holidays to you. Take care.